Let's start with some breaking news from the Fed today. You were pretty upset that they only cut it a quarter of a percentage point, and you said that Chairman Powell has no guts. Why?
Well, I think we should do more because other countries have done more. If you look at Germany, if you look at Japan, if you look at so many others, they're cutting much more. In fact, they're borrowing money and getting paid to borrow money, and we're paying interest. And we're the most prime in the world. We have this great economy. We're doing better than we've ever done. Our employment numbers are the best they've ever been, and unemployment numbers also. We are doing great, but we should be cutting. There's no inflation.
So you're worried he's putting sort of a wet blanket ahead of 2020?
I think what he does is, I don't think he knows how to play the game very well. They've raised too fast, and I've been saying this openly, and they've lowered too slow. And he took 25. Some people were hoping for 50. He did 25. But the fact is, when Germany gets paid to loan money, I mean, they're borrowing money. So they're borrowing, think of it. They borrow money, and when it comes time to pay back, people pay them.
Right.
And we can't participate in that, and it's because of the Fed. So I'm not thrilled with the Fed, but despite that, we have an incredible economy, and we don't have inflation.
And Chairman Powell's job is safe?
It's safe, yeah, it's safe. I mean, sure, why not?
You paused?
No, I don't pause. I mean, he's got a job, and, I'm disappointed in him. I'm very disappointed in him. I think he raised far too fast. He also did quantitative tightening, which was not a good thing to do, but it's all right. And look, we have a great economy, and that's not going to make the difference. But it would have given us an edge, and instead somebody else has an edge. But they're so far behind us, it can't catch us.
On Iran, you announced tough new sanctions today. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that you are behind the scenes trying to work the diplomatic angles at the UN and have something short of actually war. But why did you tweet "locked and loaded" if you don't want to go to war?
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, you may have some very strong hit. We're the strongest military in the world by far. When I came in, we were depleted. Now we're very powerful. We have new planes, new missiles, new everything, every form of equipment. We're building many new ships, as you know, new submarines. We're doing things that we haven't done in many, many years. I came in, we were depleted. I told you yesterday they were very low on ammunition, and I'm being nice when I say that. And I said that should never happen to another president. No, we'll see what happens. A lot of things could happen. If we can have a peaceful solution, that's good. It's possible that won't happen. But there's never been a stronger country militarily, not even close.
Let's talk about what's behind you, because I've interviewed various Democrats on the show, and they'll tell me this is a fantasy. There's no new wall being built. They've said that.
Well, this was not here 2 weeks ago. So this is all brand new wall. This goes miles up the mountain over here. This goes, I mean, you're seeing it. This goes miles down in this direction.
They said about 14 miles so far.
And we're building, we'll have
here, just here.
Well, in this section is 14, but we're building many that are 50 and 40 and 17 and different areas. We're building on many different sites, all up and down along the border, and they get hooked in. Different contractors bid it out. This would be far too much for one contractor to build, but you see the length of this.
Absolutely.
So that's just a
But
Democrat
also you have two levels here,
point.
because you've got 18 feet over there.
Well, this is Tijuana, and it's been a very, very tough section. A lot of people, thousands of people are over there trying to get into our country. They can't get in. But Tijuana, we have a double wall. That's a 18-foot wall.
Right.
That's the border, and then if they get over here, they can't get up this wall.
I interviewed some Border Patrol agents. They say sometimes dozens can get over with ladders, but none have gotten over the 30 feet.
Nobody. And we had mountain climbers. We had, in a couple of cases, championship mountain climbers, and we tested various walls. You have to have the see-through ability, otherwise you don't know who's on the other side. They were unable to get over this wall.
One Border Patrol agent told me no president has brought this kind of attention or resources so that now I can do my job. That's what he told me.
Well, we're making their job a lot safer, too. And you know what else is happening? People aren't even coming up. You see the numbers are going way down, and we're not doing catch and release anymore. And we wish we had help from the Democrats in Congress, but they want open borders. They don't want this. They want criminals to come in. They want human traffickers.
But what about Republicans in Congress, sir? Because you had 2 years.
I know, but
at the beginning.
I know, but the problem is I didn't have the votes, because in the Senate we needed 60 votes, and we only had, as you know, we were 9 votes short. So we had 51. Now we then had a good election.
But you
and we
regret that Republicans who were in power in the House and Senate didn't push it harder,
because
you could have gotten more of this.
But here's the problem. In the House we had no problem. We'd get it approved, right? But in the Senate, we had 51 votes and we needed 60. So that means we needed 9 or 10 Democrat votes, and they wouldn't give us any. We had no Democrats. So just, it's a total misnomer. We had a very tiny majority, and we needed 9 to 10 votes. And if we didn't get them, and we couldn't get them, we had the Republican votes, but we didn't have any Democrat votes. So they wouldn't give us the votes.
Guns. We're told that your Justice Department a couple weeks ago gave you a package, legislative package. You might move on it Thursday. What are you going to do?
No, we're not moving on anything. We're going very slowly in one way because we want to make sure it's right. We're doing a very careful job. We're working with the Democrats. We're working with the Republicans. Our Attorney General has done a fantastic job in so many ways. Is also in on it, and he's looking at it very strongly.
But you know what, Beto O'Rourke, another Democrat, Beto O'Rourke today said you have blood on your hands because there were all these deadly shootings, and that you can't wait. You've got to move, he says.
Part of the problem that we have is because of Beto O'Rourke's statement about taking away guns. Yeah. A lot of Republicans and some Democrats now are afraid to do anything to go down that slippery slope. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think this is just a way of taking away guns. And that's not good because we're not going to allow that. Look, I'm a very strong believer in the Second Amendment.
Right.
You are too.
We know that.
But I'm a very strong believer in the Second Amendment. We're going to protect our Second Amendment. We have plenty of ideas, but we're going to make sure those ideas
But you like
work.
to tweet that you've got about 95% support in the Republican Party, which you do. So are you willing to stand up to the NRA and other Republicans and say, look, we're going to do something?
I am, if it's not going to hurt a good, solid, great American citizen from keeping his weapon, because they want that and they are entitled to that. We have a Second Amendment. I don't want to have crazy people have guns. I don't want to have bad people have guns. But we're going to do nothing to hurt the Second Amendment. And what we want to do is see if we can come up with a compromise, and that's what we're working on.
The FBI and FISA. We heard these reports a week or so ago that Andrew McCabe might be indicted. It hasn't happened. The report came out on Comey. It was kind of a slap on the wrist. Are you worried that some of these guys who you believe were going after you are going to get off the hook?
Well, the report on Comey was a horrible report on him, and you'll have to ask the Attorney General about whatever is going on. And on McCabe, certainly what he's done is just despicable. But we'll see what happens. We'll see where it all goes. I think that there's a lot of things happening right now, but we'll see what happens.
Jimmy Carter said that he thinks when he was 80 years old, he wouldn't have been able to be president. And it was seen as a shot at Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. Yeah. And you put out a pretty tough web ad in the last couple of days, quoting not Republicans, but Democrats, saying that Joe Biden's not ready, questioning his fitness for the job. Are you getting ready for Elizabeth Warren or someone else who's rising in the polls and not facing Joe Biden in 2020?
Whoever it is, my attitude is whoever it is. Elizabeth Warren is doing better than Joe right now. Joe's having a hard time. We'll see what happens. Whoever it is, I'll take him on and we'll do well.
And you feel good about your standing and you feel good about the economy?
I really think that my standing is the best it's been. We had a poll today, 51%, and that's despite all of the fake news and all of the, I say the Democrats and the media really are like one. They're as if one. But I think that we're probably doing the best we've done. I think people see what's happening here. People see what's happening with our military, what's happening with the vets, where we got choice approved. You look at all of the things that we're doing, even where you have an attack like in Saudi Arabia, where people thought that maybe our oil price is going to double. They barely went up, and now they're coming rapidly down. No, we're in great shape. I think we're going to be really in good shape. We've had a lot of fake news. But despite the fake news, our poll numbers are fantastic.
Mr. President, I know it's been a long day. It's hot here on the border. We appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.